design sprint, which was really amusing. You've got exciting projects, and I'll just tell a bit more about how you can use this project and use Smartly to help create user-friendly conversations. So first, let me tell you a bit more about myself. So I'm Maaike. I'm the in-house conversational designer. I used to be a UX web designer, and I switched to voice. And I was freelance. And one of the reasons I decided to come to Smartly and to be part of the Smartly adventure is because of their philosophy of to be a design-first platform. As we all know, there's a lot of development platforms out there which allow you to develop your app, your vocal app, very quickly, but that don't have really a design-first philosophy. So when Smartly and I got together, it was really a question of common ground and common philosophy. So that's what I would like to share with you as a message, that the Smartly platform is really not only for developers, but also for agencies, for designers, and it has been itself designed in a user-friendly way from the get-go. So it's user-friendly for agencies, marketeers. It's also user-friendly for your business clients, the brands, and of course, well, it's user-friendly for the final users. So for the agency, the best practices, the best design practices have been incorporated into Smartly. So Smartly allows you to do the high-level design and the detailed design all in one. So as you will see later on with my colleague Abdul, who will do a demo for the platform, with Smartly you don't have to use diagrams like on Lucidchart or Draw.io or whatever you use to make flowcharts. You can directly make the flow into Smartly and then enrichen it later on with your prompts and your detailed design. Also, Smartly engages you to define reprompts immediately. So at each prompt, at each step of the way that you design, Smartly will ask you what the reprompt will be for that particular intent. Also, Smartly allows you to detail the confidence level of the AI at every intent, so you don't set a confidence level for the entire conversation. We all know when designing a conversation, or perhaps you have learned yesterday or this morning, every question doesn't get the same answer, and every answer doesn't have to be as precise as the next one. So being able to detail the confidence level at each step of the way is really important.
What is confidence level?
So confidence level is the level at which the NLU, so the natural language processing, understands the exactitude of what is being said. So under a certain level, it will understand whatever. If you say yes, no, exactly, etc., it will go on with the conversation no matter what. And if it's too high up, it will only understand the exact phrasing of what you put into the machine. So you can imagine, for example, in an application where you need to give exact information, like I would say a telephone number, where he has to understand exactly right what you mean, you would be needing a high confidence level. Where is something like a prompt that's more loose, where you want to have the conversation move onward, you can put a lower confidence level. So Smartly allows you to do that for every question. Next on, well, Smartly allows you to build in an intuitive and smart way. So it's for us designers who don't necessarily have a heavy tech background, it allows us to play with the conversation with the node building structure, we can integrate our skills on Alexa, on Google Assistant, just with a slide of a button. Of course, well, you can also manage the APIs on the platform when you go a bit deeper into the design. But basically, anyone with a bit of practice can use Smartly to make a good app, and it will be well designed because the platform already asks you all the things needed to make a good design. For the business clients, so for the brands, Smartly is interesting because they can access the graph that you made and they get a visual idea of the bot building process. It's as you will see with my colleague later on, it's really, the interface is really graphical and it's really easy to understand for everyone. There's also an in-solution user testing, which is very dear to my heart, because yesterday on the colloquium, we saw a lot of brands that said, yes, we did user testing with people working in our company. But, well, it's a bit biased, because people working in the company have the corporate philosophy already integrated into them, don't really always honestly say what they think, and have also the bias of their proper jobs. Even if they have experience like in customer service, well, if they're frustrated with their job, the prompts that they will give you are already biased by their personal view and psychological state. So Smartly allows you to do in-solution user testing by a module that is called Conversation. The platform retranscripts all the conversation that the bot has and filters it into conversations that went well, conversations where the user abandoned, and conversations where the user asks for help. That way, you can constantly reiterate and constantly make your bot or your voice application better in function of real users that used it. And then for the user, finally, if you did everything right from the get-go, he will get no repeats of the same questions, as Smartly will have asked you to define several reprompts for each intent. He will get help when he needs it, because Smartly allows you to put independent nodes into your design, and specifically a help node with the right reprompts, so you can interrupt your bot and say, help, I don't get it. The user never gets lost, because we design from the get-go with a flow chart, with a flow diagram, so everything is programmed to go very smoothly. And you can create, for the user, he will get a bot who has a strong personality, because you can create also from a place that is called Datasets, which my colleague will show you. And that way you can define in advance the intents and entities and slots for personality, grammar, semantics, tone, prosody, etc. So I hope I got the message across that I chose Smartly as a conversational designer specifically because it's really friendly to users, and that's the core of my business. Thank you.
So for my part, I will introduce you to the Smartly Partner Program. I know that there was someone of you were there yesterday. So yesterday I just planned on the thing, but today I want to show you how you can take advantage of it. So what do you need to succeed in a conversational project? You need, of course, a solution, a platform. So take Smartly. You need a team. you need a brilliant team, but you need also a collaborative team. You need UX designers, you need some experts on the industries, you need developers, so you need a complete team. And also you need skills, because you can't design proper conversational app if you don't have skills. So I will show you how to do it. So first, this is just basic screenshots of Smartly, but what I want you to say with this is that Smartly is based on 4 core modules. These 4 core modules are really appreciated by the clients because they allow you to enter the process, and it's not just about designing once and deploy. It's about long-term relationship with the client. You have the builder, of course. Maaike told us that you can test your app directly in the builder, you can graph intuitively, but what is interesting is the conversation module. It allows you to see all the conversations that were made by the bot from on any support, and they are flagged in red when the bot has some difficulty to answer. So you can directly target the improvement margin. You also have the Datasets module. So the Datasets allows you to make some supervised apprenticeship. So that's why I'm talking about long-term process. It's because even if your app is deployed, even if it's in production, you can improve it every day. And finally, you have the analytics. So the great value proposition of Smartly is that you can deploy on each Amazon Alexa and Google Home from the same application. So design once, deploy many times. And you can compare on which smart speaker your app is better. So this is for the solution. So what I didn't tell you is that with Smartly Conversation, you can connect user ID to CRM data. So it's very relevant because it allows you to understand all the comportments and all the information about your customer, the final customer. You can also, what I didn't tell you, I think I told you all. So this is the main advantages of Smartly. So it needed to be said to understand. So you need a team, as I told you. At Smartly, we have made a lot of work in 2017, 2016, first on the chatbot wave and afterwards on the voice wave. And we developed our proper methodology to deliver great projects. So we recommend you to have these 4 profiles involved on your projects. It's really important to design the best conversational projects. So this is the basics. You can personalize it. I want to take your attention on the brand's identity at conversational UX expert. If you don't have this person with you, or if this person is far from your project, you cannot design a great conversational experience. But I guess that you're okay with this, as a lot of people and experts told you yesterday and today. And finally, you need skills. So what is it doing Smartly to give you the skills? As I told you, we did a lot of projects, so we want to transfer our core skills. We give you a training program, the Smartly Academy. So online, Skype, or in presential, we can transfer our core competencies to all your collaborators and even you. As you see, it's not just about develop an app, train a bot. You need all these core skills to develop a great app. And I want to get your attention on scope a bot project. Today, to get large corporates on voice, it's not very easy. The agility is very difficult to get from them. So you need to take them by the hand and show them that you can scope a project really easily. This is the basis of your bot project. We're giving you templates because you need to inspire your client. You need to inspire the customer. So we give you the best practices and the best experiences that are on the market. So you can start from something which is effective and not starting from scratch. We're giving you some contents, Trends Watch. So we also had a great talks from media partners. You've seen that Voicebot.ai, VoiceFirst.fm were great media partners to have the best trends and the best metrics of the market. But we don't want you to give the basic metrics. We want you to have the use case metrics. What is it working? Well, what is the best use case for retail, for banking? You need to know that. So, as I said yesterday, I invite you to get on the website and apply. Fill in the form, see what you can get from our partner program. There is many type of program. You can totally take benefits from it. And it's really easy. We will take contact with you and see how we can fit your needs and how we can help you get to your objectives for 2018. So thank you for your attention. And now I invite Abdul. So Abdul is our beloved product owner. So he will show you the solution in detail, and you will be accompanied. Thank you very much.
So the first thing you have to understand is that what do you want to build? Which app you want to build actually? Is it a test bot or a voice application? So since this event is voice, we're going to be doing a voice application. So not just to waste the time, I'm going to use a bot we've already created, which is for the event, which I called Smart Voice Summit. And as you can see, this is the builder. And in the builder, we have something called Conversation. So in this conversation, it's a simulator whereby you can interact with the application and see how it will respond in the real world when you deploy it to your customers. And then the second one, we have the API output. So this is for the geeks who want to understand what's going on behind the application. So, and one thing we've done so far is being able to correct input. So for example, if a customer comes and asks a question in a wrong way, our system can correct that question and give you the right answer. So here you can see a lot of things like intent, confidence, entities, the system understood the question or not. And in the third tab, we have the console. So this is the console whereby you can debug. If there's a problem, you can see directly what the problem is and fix it directly. So let's get to the second one. So here you can see we have this thing called, so this is called objects. So you have user says and app answers and the Node.js. So this user says is an object whereby you can input what your user would say. So for example, maybe you want to have an application that customer could ask, okay, where are you located? And then all you have to do is drag this object into the builder. So I'm just going to show you guys an example. So this is how it works. You drag and drop easily. So since we already have some objects, I'm just going to open these and show you guys. So here we have this model whereby it shows all the inputs I've done. So I have when is the next summit happening? When is the next summit? So here you can have different kind of inputs that allows the app to understand question in a different way, because most people ask question in different. So you just have to keep inputting some question that your customers might ask. So as Maaike was saying earlier, for each intent, you have confidence threshold. So here you can set the confidence threshold. So the default we have on the Smartly application is 30%. So you can set it to 90. When it's 90, that means if a customer asks the question, without the nest, it won't answer at all. So once you put it to 90, that means it has to be the same way you have it inside the input. So and the next thing is the app answers. So here is whereby you had the answer to what the intent you just input in user says CAD, and here you can add test. You can add a test, or you can add a voice. So say you have an audio MP3 file that you want to input into the system, you can add that as well, and the system will be able to respond with that audio file. So I'm going to show you guys the integration and then we can test the demo together. So here you see the list of integrations we have. So we have Google Assistant, Alexa, and soon we'll be having Cortana and Siri. Hopefully when they open up the API for Siri. so for the Google Assistant, all you'll have to do is click it, and then you can set up the project ID and also the Google Assistant token. So I really love the Google integration because it's really simple to integrate. So all you'll have to do is, so we already have all these links, so you don't have to like remember the link to copy the tokens and the Google ID. So all you have to do is click this link. So let's just do that, and I'm going to show you guys. So once you click that, you have this Google action. So you can create you can create a project, and then you copy the project ID. So you can copy the project ID from here. So this is the project ID. Once you create a project, it shows the project ID, which are already done here. So the Smartly voice. And for the Google Assistant token, all you have to do is click it as well. And then ask for the account you want to use. So you need to make sure that this account is also connected to the Google Home that you have or your mobile phone. So we're going to allow that, and then we just have to copy the token and then paste it here. So your Google Assistant integration is done, and that's it. So I'm going to try this on my phone right now. So the good part about this is that even if you don't have a Google Home, you can have your application on your mobile phone as well. Talk to Smart Voice Summit. Talk to Smart Voice Summit. Okay. It says you're welcome. When is the next summit?
I can't predict the future, so I can't help you with that answer.
That's sure. So what's the location?
WAI Paris 19 Boulevard Poissonnière, 75,002 Paris.
All right, thank you. So you can see here, I have the intent. So what's the location? Where is the summit happening? Where is the summit happening? So you can see, I'm sorry. You can see that in these three elements, I have where is summit happening and where is the summit happening. Just shut up. So you can see I have a different way whereby you can ask the question, because most people might ask it in a different way. This allows your application to have good response all the time. So you need to make sure like you have. So, and also one thing I need to tell you guys is that in the next version of Smartly, we're going to have an algorithm whereby it can create different sentences for you. So you don't have to like create like thousands of it. So that's going to be in the next version of the platform. So, and let's move to the conversation area. So here you can see all the conversation that's been happening with your application. So you can see the user, and you can even have the email. Maybe, for example, you know the customer, and you can have the email of the customer. You can add the notes about maybe you want to share the notes with your partner or someone. And we're going to move to the dataset area. So in the dataset area, we have, just a sec, it's not showing. Why is it not showing? Okay. So in the dataset area, we have intents, and we have entities, and we have inbox and test data. So the intents contains all the intents you might have had it from my applications, and also you could create an intent right from here easily. So let's just try and do that. So before creating an intent, you have to give it a name. So let's say SVS app. And then you can start inputting the intent, like, so where is SVS app happening and stuff like that. So here, like I said earlier, you can add the confidence threshold as well. So in the next version, we're going to have import intent. So you don't have to like input all those intent, you can have them created. So for example, maybe a customer gave you a list of intents that they want to have the application to have. So, this question. Yeah. You have a question?
Well, because I've looked at the app very quickly, and I saw the import intent, and
Yeah.
it still has to be developed.
Yeah.
So my expectation was that I would take my intents from another language understanding platform to your platform. Let's say I recorded my intents in Lewis already,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to connect up to the devices, the smart devices.
Yeah.
I take my intents from Lewis.
Yeah, you could do that as well, but this is for the test application, but for the conversational like voice, it has to be in test format. So the way you put it in Lewis, I don't know how Lewis work, but it has to be in a test format, maybe in a CSV file, in a TXT file. Yeah, that's what you. Yeah, and just import it, and that's it. So for the entities are the same thing as well. So you guys should know what entities mean. So the time you can have like time and the synonyms like this is another language, but this means time in another language. This is African language. This ago. So time and ago is the same thing. So and then we have the inbox. So this is where you see all the question asked by our customer. So you can see, so what's the location? I asked that some minutes ago, and the starter was like, it understood the question, and then you can see the intent and the dates and the platform, and then you can make a lot of actions. So for example, let's say I don't have some question that the system doesn't understand. So if I do, so this sample has probably been added to your intent. So you can re-add question from customers that the system doesn't understand. So you don't have to like input the intent all over again. And then this is the latest feature that we just launched, which is called test data. So if you have like a list of intents, so let's say from your customers, and you want to test those intents with the graph you've designed to make sure that they're working before launching, you can just import a JSON file. So we have the documentation. It's very easy to do. We have the documentation on docs.smartly.ai, and then you send. So when you send that, it shows the list. It shows the list of the intent you just uploaded and the intent on your platform, and then it matches them together if they are the same thing or not. So that way you're able to like do a lot of testing easily. And we have the last but not the least, the analytics. This is really good. So the analytics is whereby you can see a lot of actions and data about what's happening. So you can see like how many new users who are returning, who love this application and returning to it. So how many messages and how many conversations. And then we have users. So here you can see how many total users, the returning users, and the new users as well. So in the conversation, you can see, okay, for the Google Assistant, this is Google Assistant, you can see the old graph, and you can use all this data to make decisions as well. Who is using this application? Are they using it or not? And stuff like that. So in the messages, you can see all the intents that have been matched with what your customers have asked. And then you can see, okay, so for example, I asked this some minutes ago, where is Sony Platinum? That's not what I wanted to ask, but he showed this. So the intent was where. So it understood that, okay, I'm asking about a location, and the intent was where. And how many eats, so it shows you like how many people are asking about this exact intent. And that's it. So we have the profile page, whereby you can add your details and stuff. So hopefully I've been able to. And just one last thing, we have something we just recently launched as well, which is called duplication. So let's say you have a client, let's say you're working with a banking, you're working with a banking application, and you have other banks as well that want to use the same application. So instead of going through the process of inputting again and doing other stuff, you can just like click on this and duplicate that same application. So it creates different intents and entities for the same thing, and then you can do that for different apps. So you can like use the same data set you use for maybe like BPI for another bank. So something like that. Hope I've been able to like clear that up for you guys. And
with adding audio to the responses, can you add sort of the up to 5, up to 90 seconds?
So it's
SSML.
It's some seconds, like 30 seconds. It's not longer than that. So it's like 30 seconds.
10 seconds.
30.
30?
Yeah.
Per clip? Can you do multiple clips?
No, it's just one.
Just one clip,
yeah,
up to 30 seconds.
You can have different. So this is it. So you can have like one. Just a sec. So you can have, this is the wrong one, this is the right one. So here you can have, so like this is, I can have this voice. Let's say I've added this one, and then I can come back and add another one. So you just like test. You had.
Okay, so you could add presumably up to 5 and up to 90 seconds as per the SSML rules. Or
Yeah.
depending on the platform.
Yeah, so for example,
Google.
let's say you want to like have a customer support application, and then when the customer calls and says, okay, welcome to Smartly, how can I help you? Those are voices. Welcome to Smartly, how can I help you? What's your name? So like that.
But each individual clip is limited to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the platform API enabled?
Yeah. So we have API for the platform. So for example, like I said, so we have the docs. It's beautiful. It's easy to use. So so we have the API here. All you have to do is get a token on the platform. You get the token here. My account, profile, and then you generate a new token. So that token will be used based on the API. So we have the dialogue here. So you can use the API.
Is basically every action in the user interface covered by an API call? Is it one-to-one?
Not yet. Not everything.
Okay.
Not everything.
I have another short question. Is there a roadmap? Is there a user voice? Is there?
Yeah, we have a roadmap. I will be able to share that with you soon. So we're still like working with our CEO to define the real features that we know that users will want. So I'll be able to share that with you once you have it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Abdul.
Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
I have one question. If you're designing like like a voice experience, which for example involves like several states, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you, for example, handle like state-specific help?
So you can give me an example.
I would say we had this example before, of the space trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 phases of the trip.
Yeah.
It was like I choose the first phase, and then you want to say help, but then you get specific help for exactly that state of the conversation that you're in.
Oh.
Depending on.
Oh yeah. We don't have that right now, but it's actually part of the roadmap. So which Mike said that we could have like a module of help in each stage. So for example, someone say, okay, what's my account balance? And then the application responds, so you have $2 billion. And then you can say, okay, help, I need to do something in that context.
In this context, yeah, exactly.
So, and once that's finished, so you can say, okay, where is your location? And then in that context, you can say, I need help for that location. So yeah, so it's something that we're working on, not available right now.
Okay,
Thank you.
I have a question. Is it the same, like if it's the first time I come to chat with the bot, or is it the second time or the third time? I'm not expecting the same answers, and is it endable with the platform yet? It's related for the question, but
So you're asking that, can you have different answer every time you talk with the bot?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it's the first time, I expect from to be more, I don't know, welcoming, let's say, and to explain a bit
Oh yeah,
more.
you can have different. So it's here. So you can have like different. So let's say we have the welcome. So this is the welcome card. So you can have different messages. Like you're welcome. So you can have like, okay, welcome to Smartly.
Yeah, but is it possible to put conditions, to say, okay, it will be this specific message because I came already,
You
to
can
speak.
do that in the Node.js. So we
Okay,
have like,
yeah, true,
So you can
true.
do a lot of things
Okay, yeah,
through
true.
the Node.js
Yeah, of
application.
course.
Sorry? Yeah. So that's for the developers that want to
Yeah,
code.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you need to go through Node.js. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying we should have? Yeah, but I don't have that right now. I don't have the code right now. Oh yeah, so it's easy, but you do know that. So I don't know why you're asking. You do know that. So for you guys, not for Isham because he knows how to do it. So this is the Node.js. So the good part is that we already have some snippets for you guys to use that you don't need to like code from. So for example, let's say if you need to provide a dynamic answer, date, the new dates, and then the output answer is the current year is this year. So we already have all these Node.js modules inside the platform that you can use easily. So all you have to like do is uncomment these things. And then if you can't do that as well, you can contact us and we can help you like create a specific Node.js code for your business.
What you're showing here is actually the application outputting Node.js all over. And could I get a full code view on everything I've created in the application?
No,
or just piece by piece?
Yeah. So let's say you want to like let's say you want an application to get the data from an API. So let's say you say, okay, what's my bank account? And then you connect this Node.js. The application asks, okay, what's your account number? And then you get the answer and match it with the Node.js code that you've written here, and that's it. So if you want to do another one, you have to like drag the Node.js application to the app answer again. So it's like one by one.
Short question about questions, actually.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised that they were very specific, and you said that in the next release, the platform will generate a question by itself.
Yeah.
Right. There is some machine learning or something about the question.
It's machine learning. So, for example, let's say you had an intent, like say, what's your address and what's your location? They are the same thing, but the system will generate for you what's your location. So instead of you typing what's your location again, so you just have to input one thing that the system can learn from to generate all the. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah, but as it was a subset, one question was a subset on another one, so I was quite surprised that there was only one word that was there was only one word difference between the two questions. So.
Is that a question?
It's just a constatation.
Okay.
So you're saying that it can automatically generate the utterances, like the training data, essentially, for the intent?
Yeah. Because
all the different permutations of the sentences.
So because the intent is just like training data for the system to understand what you want to say. So we just want to like reduce the amount of work done by you guys. So typing like different intents all the time, it's like a big work.
And you're saying it can currently do that or will in the future?
Will, not now.
Hey, I have a question about the cross-platform stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably you have the one backend that's serving sort of many platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You showed us how to connect up to Google Home.
Yeah.
What about Alexa? Sort of, I guess the root of my question is how much manual legwork is there when exporting to multiple platforms? Like, what are the steps you'd need to export to both Google Home and Alexa?
Okay, so for Alexa, it's a bit long. So I think they need to make it very short, to like Google Assistant. So
Well, you can just describe it with words. You don't
yeah. So here you just have to copy this endpoint. So you need to copy two things from here.
So you provide a Lambda function.
Yeah, and also the intent schema.
Right.
So you just have to copy these two things back to Alexa console, and that's it.
Nice.
I guess it has to do a little bit with the roadmap as well, but currently you're supporting 3 languages.
So we support English, French, obviously.
And German.
And German, yeah.
So there's a lot of features to add, of course. A lot of interesting features to add. Do you think that for the foreseeable future, you'll just remain with these 3 languages and then expand on the features, or?
I think it depends on our customers. So if we have like a huge number of people asking for maybe Indian, different languages, so we would add it as we get the request. So if you have like 20 people asking for a specific, we know that people need this language, then we can add it. But in the nearest future, we'll be adding more language that we think people would have in the platform.
Okay, that would make sense, but if I would relate it to what you just said, that you're going to generate questions for me.
Yeah.
That's actually what triggered me. Like, if you're going to generate questions, you're going to be very knowledgeable about all of those languages.
That would be for English only.
Okay.
No, for other languages. So we're going to start with English only.
Okay, so you might deviate on the functionality depending on the language,
yeah,
depending on the usage.
And
you'll find out.
I think because currently, I would say a lot of people, for example, in the US, the platform will be in English majorly. But in the next version, it will be in French, because we have some good machine learning guys doing French. But first, because English is easy, we have a lot of data sets on those things. So, but after that, then we can do French. Because right now we have English and French for the spell checker, so we have all this data sets as well.
Okay, well, also in the roadmap, it would be very interesting to see how the features build up per language, because that might be useful.
That's good.
For us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, just pass the mic.
Yes, sorry, just I think you mentioned it, but I'm not sure that I understood. For the user utterance, like if I want to see when is my flight, should I put as a client all the sentence that means where is my flight?
Yeah.
Or do you I can give like 2 examples of sentence and you give the rest?
That's the next feature. So right now you have to put like a lot of different way your customers will ask. So in the next feature, that's what we're trying to avoid. So you have to like put 2 or 3, then we'll be able to like give you the rest.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, I have a question concerning the profile of the user. What kind of information can you get from the Google Home or Alexa? For example, if you have the email, his position or location.
I'm not sure, but for the like test application, maybe for Facebook Messenger and stuff, I think we could get some information. And for the live chats, we can get a lot of information like location. But for the Google Home, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and also it depends on permission from your customer. So let's say, if a customer allows the application to have access to that information that you need, then probably you can get it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful.
Jetzt.